folks. We got through the conference finals, and now we are in the finals times. Ready for that Larry O'Brien trophy about to be coming up, and someone's going to grab it. So today we have Jade Auxiliary Things Johnson.
Hi.
I got to ask real quick, Jade. Nick Nurse.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm okay. I mean, if for those of you who do follow the show, I've been kind of preparing for this for a little while. And 10 years with one organization is a really long time in the NBA, as you can see from all of the firings that have happened immediately after teams finished their seasons this year. So it just feels like it was kind of time for everyone to move on. That said, I did not see Philly coming.
I didn't think so either.
I did not see Philly coming. I was like, seriously? And like the idea that he really wanted to coach Joel Embiid for me is like, I don't think I ever really knew Nick Nurse at all.
Right? There's moments
that's how I feel.
What were you doing behind the scenes? Like, what were they your mistress?
And Philly, Joel Embiid and Philly of all the teams in the NBA. I just
everything about the situation. Philadelphia, it blows. Joel Embiid, annoying.
But also, Harden's gonna leave.
Yeah,
they're not even gonna be contenders in the way they were considered to be this season, next season, because Harden's going back to Houston where he can harden all he wants and nobody's gonna complain.
No, I wonder what the Rockets are going to be doing with that situation. They want to star right away, and they're putting up Jalen Green for anybody, which I kind of feel bad for that kid. Hasn't done really anything.
Man, Houston is such a mess. They've been a mess, and nobody wants. Well, Houston fans are delusional. They're among the most delusional fans in the NBA.
Yeah.
Is Daryl Morey actually a good GM? Like right when he left, Houston exploded, and then when he went to Philadelphia, he at least was able to do moves that brought in talent.
Yeah.
Like Harden and stuff. Like, is he a good one?
I think it depends on how you feel, like your perspective. If you think that the GM's job is to take a team that's great and send them to the finals, then no, he's terrible. Like, what else could he have needed in Philly? Philly should be better than they are. Really, like on paper.
Right.
They should indeed. They should be ones that go.
They should indeed.
Ooh.
Speaking of people that got killer lines like that, we got Shay Shay watches NBA Vassar. You're joking around. How have you been? How did you watch last night's game? What did you think?
Well, I fell asleep.
That's all. This is everyone's.
I woke up on the couch as Miami was getting their championship stuff. So I was like, or their conference stuff, and I was like, okay, cool. So I guess they won.
and how much were they up when you fell asleep?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that was the thing, is I was like, Boston looks horrible. Like, this is
terrible. I thought there was no way a team wins 3 games in a row to come back from being 0-3 down to play a game 7 at home and get whooped like that.
I know. It was embarrassing. Like
I thought the Celtics had a chance to make history getting to play that game 7 at home.
And then they just gave up. Like, it was so odd.
Tatum hurt his ankle first play of the game.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah,
Robert Williams, Robert Williams III, he only played 14 minutes. He was vomiting throughout the game.
I did not know that.
I just saw it today. It was the perfect storm for as much as they could persevere, and then also Jalen Green was 6 for 23.
They shot like absolute trash.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was so bad.
Spoelstra showed also who is the better coach.
Oh,
I should say better.
completely.
The veteran coach.
Well, and I think it's important, if we're going to talk about coaching, to note that Missoula is a rookie head coach, and he had to take over this team partway through the season in very less than ideal circumstances. Good on Boston, because it sounds like they're not going to fire him over this.
He gets to the he almost pulls off one of the most miraculous things in NBA history, let alone sports history. Like they were actually talking to the Boston Red Sox pitcher Pedro Martinez about that, but that's a whole other thing. But the three coming back from the 0-3 would have been phenomenal. But
oh my gosh, it would have been crazy.
At this point, I still say for at least head coaching standard, successful beyond all means.
Yeah.
Player standard wise, they fell up short. But okay, before we dive in today, don't forget to follow us on Hardcourt Honeys on Facebook and Instagram, at HC Honeys on Twitter, and look for us on all of your favorite streaming sites. Okay, so this week we're going to be diving into the Nuggets finals, and we have Jokic being a straight up cheat code, and Murray showing off his stardom. Lakers now walk away lonely into the road the offseason. Where do they go? Plus, Miami Celtics conference finals. That was phenomenal as we were just going into it. How can Miami bounce into the finals being dead tired against a team like the Nuggets who have no rest? And after this, like we were saying a little bit before, a little bit of a disappointing year. What do they got going on next year? They keeping talent? What's going to be going on? So, okay, let's get this Eastern Conference rolling. So we're gonna hit up the East since they won. What's been the most impressive thing for this team right now?
Jimmy frickin' Butler.
Yeah.
Jimmy play undrafted players or Coach Spoelstra?
Jimmy frickin' Butler. It's still Jimmy. Jimmy Butler is playing out of his damn mind. And I don't really like the narrative of drafted versus undrafted in the NBA. I think it's a bit old school in today's NBA. There are more ways to get to the NBA than there used to be, including the G League.
Right.
And the G League's only going to get better and better. Other sports in North America, hockey and baseball specifically, rely on their farm teams a lot for their talent, right? NHL has an affiliate minor league team. Every team has it. Same with baseball. So the draft is going to be less and less important in the future, I think, to the NBA. And also the draft is a lottery in every sense of the word. In every sense of the word. Like, you can't name the top 5 lottery picks for the last however many years. I'm sure some people can, but most people can't, because a lot of those people end up not being very good because it's a lottery. You're right. Taking a chance. Whereas with undrafted players, they're already working harder just to get a look, just to get somebody to look at them. They already are working harder than the guys who play well in college and are like, oh, I'm going to be in the draft. Like, all the spotlight is already there. So these undrafted guys, they have to work just that much harder just to have a little bit of light on them. Well, and also, in a lot of cases, they're just as good or better. Lots of guys that get drafted never make it in the NBA. Lots of them.
Just about to say, well, with 60 picks, that's a lot of players to go through international and through college ball.
Yep.
Now with the G League, yeah, you're right. They're coming up through it. I crossing fingers that that's what the Timberwolves plan on doing, is more G League stuff instead of drafting stuff, because I just hope so.
And I mean, the Raptors have been doing this with the G League team for a while. And the thing that you get is you get continuity in the way guys are learning basketball, because when it's an affiliate team, all the coaching staff gets on the same page for the G League team and the NBA team. So you get guys who are practicing the types of play that the NBA team is going to be doing. instead of let me just take a player. Now he has to adjust to our whole system. He has to adjust to what his role is going to be, all these other things. Like, it just makes things a bit, I think it's more seamless to promote through the G League. And I think especially the smaller market teams are going to, as the years go on, are going to get better and better at using and utilizing their G League teams.
Yeah, because man, that Gabe Vincent, that guy, that kid, he looks like he's
Caleb Martin
mid-30s.
too.
Yes. Michael Jordan waived him just last summer.
Damn,
and now he
Mike.
played. The guy just,
he's so good.
yeah.
Like, he was so good last night.
And then I wonder how his brother is like cheering him on, because he's got a twin brother.
Yeah.
I wonder where his brother plays. I can't remember.
I can't remember his brother plays. You know, I had to like, usually Stan and Reggie are like my favorite, you know, playoff calls. But yeah. Like the one game, Stan Van Gundy was like, you know, if Martin gets hurt, you'll just have to like, is his brother in the building? Just put his brother in his uniform and you're good to go. And I'm like, I tweeted, I'm like, yeah, but they don't have identical tattoos, and they have a lot of tattoos.
Sleeves, yo. Sleeves.
Like, so many.
But so, Shay, I gotta ask, this Heat team, it says they're an 8th seed, but are they actually a real 8th seed, or more so a top seed? Meaning, like, did they have a long, rough stretch during like the middle of the season or something, and that bumped them down?
I mean, yeah, I think that's more what it is. But I mean, it really makes for a great narrative that an 8th seed, you know, who had to, because they did the play-in, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, I remember that correctly. I think they did the play-in, so it's a great narrative for the NBA to have two kind of more scrappy teams. They both play with a lot of heart, because even the Nuggets, like, coming into this season, it wasn't like they were the top talked about team. So both of these teams, I 100% believe, should be here. Like, I don't think that it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, the NBA narrative has allowed to where it's Lakers, you know, like, these are two teams that are not going to be the NBA's first choice. I think Miami again came out of nowhere. This is not their first time doing this, just making it all the way. But I think that, like, they are an 8th seed because of just, like, the Eastern Conference this year was just back and forth. I mean, both conferences were all over the place. And in some ways, I think that the reason that they ended up being in that 8th place is because there was so many that fell so quick after changes were made. I mean, Brooklyn Nets, they would have been a true, like, 8th seed, but they ended up being 6th, because we made the first round, like, officially. So, like, that's like a good example of a team that just completely fizzled out after some changes were made. The Miami Heat have always had that tenacity and that want to be here. I think that they just had some stuff they had to work through along the way. And so, yeah, it's like they are a true 8th seed, but then they've also proven themselves to be more than just the 8th seed spot, if that makes sense. But it makes for a great narrative that 8th seed, play in, now they're in the finals. I love that.
Jade, do you think so? They have some older dudes, even though they have young guys. You have Udonis Haslem, which I don't know how he's still walking. You have Kevin Love, proven finals winner, and then you have Kyle Lowry. How much of stones are they for this squad?
I think without those guys, this 8th seed doesn't make it past the play-in tournament, honestly. Miami has done a great job of having young talent who can be relied upon to do exactly what they're on the team to do, as well as these veteran presidents. And I include Jimmy in that category as well. The veteran presences that just, like, keep everything cool, keep everybody in line. Not that they need to be kept in line, Miami, the way some other teams do, but them being there, I think just kind of naturally makes that happen. Because they're the right people. Like, Kyle's got a championship with an unlikely team. Haslam's been around forever. Right. Kevin Love, like you said,
came from the 3-1.
Yeah, these guys know what is happening in the playoffs that the other players maybe haven't experienced. A lot of the other players haven't experienced.
Plus, also Udonis Haslam, he's one. You should check out videos. He will be yelling over Spoelstra to a point where Spoelstra shuts up and just has him do it. And him and Spoelstra will be getting face-to-face screaming at each other, them pulling each other apart. Like Udonis Haslam said it today. He is Heat culture.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing the players see. They're like, wait, this guy can chew out our coach?
See, and that's another thing when Shea talks about the narrative. Udonis Haslam getting a ring in his last season would be amazing.
Yeah.
After everyone was like, this guy's just gonna go, because he wanted to end on top, but no, he's just gonna end where he ends. End where he ends.
And if nothing else, he's ending in a finals appearance. Even if they don't win. Yeah. He got there.
You still got there.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm still bummed that, speaking of old players, that Al Horford's not going to get one.
I know.
No.
Bummed me out so much. Even Blake Griffin. Even Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin was like the Kevin Love of that team. But yeah. Anywho, so I think we're going to swing. So the losers, we're going to do a quick second with the Celtics. I hate to put it that way, but they did lose.
It is. They are the losers.
They have some big decisions with Brown and Tatum this year with their contracts. They both want to stay together. How can they get this to work? Is this the end of this particular squad, Shea, if they try to keep both Tatum and Jalen?
I could see it, because is it Tatum that's a free agent?
They're both up for a super max extension. I think.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, it's going to be 600 between the two, 600 million. So it was going to be 310 for Tatum and 290 for Jaylen Brown.
So much money.
It's so much money. That's why my brain is exploding right now.
Like, I thought so.
$1 for two guys.
I think of like Patrick Mahomes, football player. He getting a deal of 10 years, $500 million. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Supermax. So I think that's 6 years, $310 million. His kids are gonna be rich.
Yep.
Jeez.
It's insane.
Jade, do you sign both of them, or do you have one?
I think you have to. No, I think you
have to. Yeah.
I think you have to. Like, the way I'm thinking about the Celtics right now is kind of how I think about how the Bulls had to lose a bunch of times before they got over that hump.
Yeah.
And I feel like the one of two things is happening with the Celtics right now. Either this loss is going to be the one that makes them pissed off enough to get their shit together, or they are missing a piece. And I don't think it's necessarily a piece that needs to produce a lot on the floor, but they are missing some kind of steadying presence, because they go from killing it to looking like, who the F are these guys? It's
not necessarily a missing piece, a missing presence.
Yes.
Like you said, it's a missing presence. Like you said, They got all the talent. They just need that one presence that can hold it all together.
Yeah. So I read today that they're planning on adding a lot of veteran assistants,
that is
coaches
key.
Around Mazzulla to take some of the pressure off of him. Because being a rookie, like when we think of first season coaches, I always, of course, think of Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse had, a whole bunch of guys that have been assistant coaches for a long time.
Right.
When he took over head coaching. One of them is now coaching Adrian Griffin just got hired somewhere this week. I can't remember. Milwaukee. So like those are the kinds of guys he had to back up on. I don't know any of Boston's assistant coaches.
Nope.
So like they just need, that's going to be a big step in the right direction. In terms of the play, like it's not that they aren't a great team. They're a great team. Yeah. It's just that they are on or they're off.
It really seems like they just lose steam. And I don't know how to get that. Like, yeah, like those are two things that either I feel like you have or you don't. So it's like if they, I don't know, like I feel like they need some realignment there, because how do you just like you said, you win 3 games to come back and then you just,
and even if you don't win at home, you can't get destroyed at home.
Exactly. Like
even if you still lose, like it needed to be a close. How was it a 20-point blowout? Like
yeah.
And you know what else they need? They need somebody with a damn mid-range game. That's what they need. Because everybody's a 3-point shooter, and last night they were cold as ice, and nobody plays in the mid-range.
Which is weird, just because you'd think that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, just because of their offensive prowess, that they'd be one of those guys that just actually already had a mid-range game.
You know, and the other thing that destroyed the Celtics, the damn zone defense. I remember when Nick Nurse brought out the zone defense on the Raptors championship run, and people were pissed. Like, you're really going to play a zone defense in the NBA? How insulting is that to the caliber of NBA players? Now everyone plays zone defense, and zone defense was absolutely Boston's Achilles heel in the season.
I never understood the beef. It's like, why not?
There's nothing wrong with simplicity that works, people.
Exactly. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
And
once
it definitely
figuring it out, go for it.
And the only people that got broke was the Celtics on the zone defense in this series. It was brutal.
Yeah, I think the Celtics were able to get by this year with a young coach because they already had a team that knew what it took to get places. Maybe not to win, but to get places. But now this year it shows, we need to get someone to us to get to there and win it.
And Missoula's going to get better.
Oh, no, exactly. And that's what happens. He got 1 year to be around in tense situations constantly. Now, next year with veteran coaches plus his experience already this year.
And if they're able to keep the key pieces of that squad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Boston's not in bad shape. It's super disappointing way to end the season, but like realistically, they're not in bad shape.
Well, they got some money issues that they're going to have to take a real close look at. They're going to be looking for both that Brown Tatum combo. I'd love for them to keep it, but that's a whole lot of money, as we had just pointed out. So, well, I think the East just ended, so I think we should end their Eastern Conference. So we're going to hit up Jade with our team's takes for the finals.
So I'm going to bring our updated bracket, which for most of us was an absolute disaster because nothing was predictable this season at all. So yeah, it's over. So I had Boston. Who were you guys going for in the Eastern Conference Finals?
I think I said Boston.
Yeah,
I think I got literally all but 2 right.
Yeah, and definitely none of us were going for the Lakers over the Nuggets. So that's the conference final for us. So now we're into the approaching finals. And I'm not even going to ask Shay because we already know Shay's going for Denver. That's a foregone conclusion.
Yes.
Taylor, who are you taking in the finals?
Denver
also?
I want Jokic too. So he can just, even though he has all this stuff, he still gets nothing.
Yeah.
He does
right.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Denver's coach is Mike Malone, pretty frustrated with the fact that every time the media talked about that series, it was about the Lakers, even though they got swept. Even after they got swept, like I'm watching the post game on ESPN, and they're talking about how the Lakers getting swept was still a successful season. Why aren't we talking about the team that swept them? Why aren't we talking about the two-time MVP who just broke a record that a lot of people thought was never going to get broken, which was triple doubles in the playoffs that Wilt Chamberlain held? And he's going to obliterate that record because he's going to play basketball for a whole bunch more years.
And I literally there was a journalist that was quoted saying that the Nuggets just aren't interesting. And I'm like, and the Lakers are like, they're like, they don't even have good drama. Like, I just don't understand how
they're not interesting to casual basketball fans. But if you love basketball, the Nuggets are amazing. Jokic is so good at basketball. And for a guy that doesn't have any of the athletic ability that most of the league has genetically, to be that good, like, he is so smart. He sees everything 2 or 3 moves ahead. It's crazy. I'm having a hard time picking in this matchup because I'm just in this place where I'm like, Jimmy's going to fuck everything up.
Right.
How can I pick Denver when I really can't shake this feeling that Jimmy's going to have his way? And I also really, like we said earlier, I'd like to see Adonis Haslem win. So I'm like really, really torn about who I'm taking in this series. I think I'm going to take Miami.
Oh,
I don't feel good about it, but I wouldn't feel good about taking the Nuggets either. So
I get it. And I like Jimmy Butler. Like, I want him to succeed at life. So
and the way that I see it, Jamal Murray and Jokic have lots of years to win a title. Right? This is like Kyle Lowry's probably last great chance. It's Jimmy Butler's best chance he's ever had in his career. It's hard not to root for that when I know, like, Jamal Murray and Jokic are going to get their titles. Yeah. I know this. We know this. So that's where we're at. The finals start on the 1st, which is the day after tomorrow. Finals basketball. I'm still adjusting to not having basketball every single day.
Same.
Sucks.
So the fact that we're like 2 weeks from having no more basketball for the off season is, well, let's just say it's a good thing I have a new Zelda game to keep me occupied.
Well, I'm definitely going to be trying to get into the WNBA this season.
Also that, I do want to watch some W this year.
Dude,
yeah.
The New York Liberties girl. Whoo!
Killing it.
That squad. Sabrina,
Ionescu.
Yeah.
Brianna Stewart on that squad too. There's like, it's like the first WNBA super team. As much as I hate the idea of a super team, when it comes to money wise, the WNBA needs a super team.
They do. I was talking to somebody about the WNBA recently, and he was just like he can't believe all the dumbasses that still talk about the WNBA like it's not worth watching. Like, Canada had its first WNBA game in Toronto,
and that thing sold out.
I tried to get tickets. It sold out so fast. And this guy was like, listen, if you can't appreciate the basketball that these girls are playing, then you're not really a basketball fan.
Right.
I always say, when I've coached kids and stuff, okay, yeah, watch the NBA if you want to see the cool highlights. But if you want to learn how to play right, so then that you can WNBA. Go straight to playing that way, but get the fundamentals, watch European League stuff and the WNBA. Yeah. Because WNBA, the height, it's a different thing. You guys are all the same height. Learn how to play lower to the ground.
Yep.
And then go from there. Like, also, the passing's so much better. So much better when it comes to just doing the extra pass or being like, you know what? I have this shot. We're going to pass it to them. Because there's another pass that's going to go and that player is going to cut. There's already 3 things in motion.
It was really nice seeing all of the commercials that they had W and NBA players in together during the playoffs as well. Like, it's about damn time that the NBA propped up its sister league a little bit more. So all those commercials with Steph and Jimmy, that Michelob Light commercial is probably my favorite commercial of the playoffs.
Anthony and I were talking about how like it's so sweet.
It's so funny.
Well, I like that. So one thing I like about players having podcasts now is with having their guests is they're bringing those players on.
Yeah.
Paul George's recent guest was, I can't remember which player it was, but I just saw a quick glimpse of it on Instagram. And also, I think Old Man and the Three JJs had like people are paying attention. And also, they got Candace Parker on Tuesday night for TNT. Yeah. And she is a person that can put Shaq in his
She's
place.
Great. I love watching her with Shaq.
He can't talk about the title, the ring thing, because he's like, yeah, I got that. And she's like, I'm one of the greatest girls to ever play in the WNBA and just one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Yeah. Don't try to run at me, man. Don't try to run.
What? Okay, so my brain just went off on a little thing. I got to share it with you.
Go for it.
What if for the All-Star game to help it out, they had more WNBA involvement in the All-Star game?
I would be in the celebrity All-Star
instead
game?
of having a celebrity All-Star. Let me see the WNBA against the NBA. That's the game I want to see.
That would be so fun.
That's the game I want to see.
Because like you're right, their passing and ability to like their agility is just
right. They don't have the same power and athleticism because that's just genetics between men and women. But they make up for it just like women have done throughout all of history to survive living with men. We figure out something else that we can do that they can't.
Like I watch also the scoring has been going up too.
Yeah.
Also Diana Taurasi, she's like year 20. I remember watching her when she was in college, when I like paid attention to college basketball. She is a monster still. Oh my word. She is an OG to the max.
And has she not also had kids during her? Does she have kids? I know some of them do, even if it's not her. That's something
I don't think she has, but I think her partner
had the kids. But there have been NBA players who have had, or WNBA players who have had babies and come back to work. I would like to see a man.
Candace Parker.
Candace Parker, I was thinking.
I think she missed the full season.
Yeah.
Which she's married to an NBA player, Sheldon Williams.
Right.
Their career trajectory are like, they went way different. Sheldon Williams was like out of the league in like 3 years. And they both like, he came from Duke and like he was a top shot blocking prospect. Yeah, whatever.
Which brings us back to the lottery is truly a lottery, which is a great time to go back to NBA basketball.
Well, no, I was just about to say the way that the lottery is such a the draft is such a lottery. Well, the guy that we're about to go into, he was 41st.
And drafted during a Taco Bell commercial.
Right.
Okay, so I want to point this out before we get too deep. So he gets drafted. Taco Bell commercial starts. The night Lakers lose, LeBron James, who tried to get Taco Tuesday untrademarked because, well, I can't have it. No one can have it. And that includes you, Taco Bell. He's trying to get that untrademarked. It's not going to happen. But they put that commercial going on the night Jokic sweeps the guy, the night that possibly could be one of his last games, which we could get to that a little bit later.
It feels like poetic justice.
It really is. But so, Shay, is the Joker playing with a chip right now? Because everyone's just been talking about literally every other team but the Nuggets.
The thing is like, I don't really know if Jokic has that kind of energy.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, because he just always seems like he's just chill and he just is out there playing basketball, which he loves to do. Like,
And his family.
I was literally just gonna say his post-game thing with his daughter is freaking adorable.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
But like, I would have a chip on my shoulder if I were him. But I just feel like he is too.
He's not that dude. He's not that dude. I know, and I also think he's just like, why would I waste energy on that?
Exactly.
But like, if he did, it would be totally understandable because the lack of discussion about how good the Nuggets have been is criminal.
It's
a full squad thing. Yes, like
Yes.
Joker's putting up all this stats and stuff, but like there's a reason why he's getting 10, 11 assists a game.
Right. I was going to say,
Right.
if you're making triple doubles, that means your team has to be sinking those shots that he's passing off of, and they are.
And one thing I love that he does, because he also gets you 12, 13 rebounds, he's brought back the tipping of the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore too often. You don't see the complete, there might be like the slap tip that goes way out, but you don't see too often of just the tap, 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 tap. Like the only person I can really like, yeah, he acts like a hustle player with having no hustle.
He has so much finesse, that dude. Like, he has more finesse than any other player I can think of in the NBA right now. Like, his hands are so good. He is so accurate with his passes. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him in a final. And, like, I won't be mad if he wins, even though I took the Heat. Like, whoever wins this year, I'm happy for whoever it is.
He's like built like Frankenstein's monster, but with the brain of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Just the way he sees, I think that's a pretty solid analogy right there. With a red nose instead of him being green, a red nose. Shay, I'm going to ask you this because he's your boy. Murray, is he now officially put to the league to show I am an undisputed star right now?
Oh, completely. Like, this is his make or break. This is big time. Like, I think that he has an interesting story going on in the fact that he did so well in the bubble. Then he was injured. And when he first came back from that injury, he was not doing so hot. And then he's been able to find his footing. I think that this is going to be a totally different amount of pressure. I think he's going to be able to meet the pressure. Like, I'm not really too worried about him. And again, I think that that's what's so nice about Jokic being someone that is so stable, is that you can have someone like Jamal Murray, who's not even really that much of like a fire starter, I like in the way that maybe a Russell Westbrook or even Jimmy Butler can be. But it must be nice to have someone on your team who is in that leadership position, is okay with keeping everything chill, right? No matter what the score is, no matter what fouls look like, all of that, like, it must be nice to have that. And I think that they work well together because of it. And I think, if anything, what I'm most worried about is Michael Porter Jr., mostly because he is the one that's a lot more off and on.
He's so streaky. Holy guacamole.
He's so streaky.
Yeah. But when he's on, it's like,
when he's on, it's lights freaking out. But like, when's he going to be on?
Yeah. So I think that, like, Jokic is the most consistent. Jamal Murray is going to bring in a lot more of that consistency.
Jamal Murray is way more consistent in the playoffs, though.
That is very true.
Which is, since they're in the playoffs, that's nice. And since they are now, the Nuggets are now kind of that team that are playing for the postseason. They're not playing to be in the postseason. They know they're going to be there.
Right. So that's what I'm worried about, is like, now that they've made it, is there going to be like a mental thing, especially because this is first time, so we constantly talk about like that experience and having that experience like leading into it. And you have Jimmy Butler, you have other guys on Miami who have been here before.
They have rings already.
Yeah, like, so there's just a difference of pressures going on. And so I have a good feeling about the Nuggets, but it definitely is something that they're going to have to be mindful of, being like the youths out there, like they're the young ones.
Yeah.
And they're going through this for the first time. So, yeah.
Jade, how key is this rest going to be for the Nuggets? Is it perfect, or is it too much rest going in?
I think it's going to be, so I said to my roommate, I'm like, the Nuggets must just be at home watching the series, laughing their butts off, because they have been off for like a week and a half already, resting while the Celtics and the Heat beat the crap out of each other in 7 games. I think because the fact that Joker is their centerpiece, I don't think it matters how much they rested. Because to me, rest is more of a muscle memory disruptor than a thing that affects guys who are smart, whose IQs in basketball are really high, and Joker's basketball IQ is off the charts, as is Jamal Murray's. So I think it's going to be more of a matter of we got lots of rest and you guys didn't, and playing in Denver. Like, I don't know how any team goes in and plays a game in Denver. The altitude.
My word.
Right.
I really don't understand how scientifically Denver teams don't just outrun everybody all the time. I guess that's a testament to the athletic ability of the league as a whole.
Well, say your blood gets extra oxygen like bicyclists. One way they would cheat was they'd go up into like Denver, high altitude areas in Colorado. And train, take out that oxygenated blood, and right before the race, stab it in them. Then they got extra oxygenated blood. Yeah, they're doing some crazy stuff up there in Denver as the Nuggets. They're not built normal. They're not built normal.
No.
Why do you think when Carmelo went to New York, he put on a little extra weight?
Because
I mean, the pieces are there.
Yeah.
Everyone else has just got to figure out. I'm just saying. I got the answers. You got to ask the questions. How is Mike Malone getting overlooked over all of this, Shay?
Yes. I mean, the entire team is getting overlooked. So I have a feeling Mike Malone as well. I mean, it's funny because when I think of like demeanor wise, I feel like him and Budenholzer are very similar. And yet Budenholzer, like, it took him so many times, the Bucks team not making it to the finals, to finally get fired. And yet, like, this is the opposite, right? Like, again, we knew the Nuggets were going to be good. We knew Jokic is like an incredible guy. He's gotten all the awards the last 2 seasons prior. And yet, like, I still struggle to remember Mike Malone's name. Same. And I think that just shows the way that this team has just kind of been brushed under the rug as like, yeah, like Jokic is good. We'll give him the MVP, but like the Bucks. But then the Bucks haven't even made it out of their conference.
Except that one time.
Except for that one time. That
it was glorious.
Yeah, it was. It was beautiful. But now we have the Nuggets who are getting this opportunity. I think that like there needs to be a new earned respect on Mike Malone because he's been able again to rehab like Jamal Murray. He's been able to bring in key players to come off the bench when Michael Porter Jr. is streaky. You know, like he's able to take like Jokic's selflessness, and you could tell that Jokic doesn't want to necessarily take time out of the game. And he's able to use that moment as a coach and be like, no, we need to sit you. We need to rest you. He really knows the pieces he's working with. And I think that's one of the main reasons we are where we are. So yeah, no, I think he needs some respect on his name.
Yeah. Right now I'm checking off his, seeing where he's been coaching, and he's been a head coach since 2013 with the Kings for 1 season, but he's been with the Nuggets ever since. So this is his kind of his about damn time kind of situation.
Yes.
You know, like this is a for God's sake, because he's been assistant coaching for teams till 2000 since 2001. Yeah, he's coached for some pretty solid squads back there in his day. So
and good on the Nuggets for keeping him there.
Yes.
Was just about to say.
You know, like I think something that a lot of NBA teams have forgotten is that consistency does actually matter.
Yeah.
You know, you can't change coaches and key members of your squad every year and think you're going to win. Basketball takes longer than that for people to gel. It just does. And when are these teams that keep shuffling players like Kyrie and KD and Harden and blah, 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 going to figure out You're not going to do it in one season. Nobody does it all in one season unless LeBron's on the team, and that's past LeBron. That is not present
Jade.
LeBron. He has been the common denominator in any team that's been able to get together and win a championship the first year that he was there. Nobody else has done it.
That's why I always go
except for on teams that have already done it in the past. The recent past.
Yes, that is true. So as much as I don't want to talk about this other squad,
we don't have to talk about them much because they on vacation.
Exactly. How much soul searching does this demonic squad have to go through, Jade, this summer?
Honestly, I think the Lakers, as a roster, the way that they finished the season, listen, we have to give them credit because we are impartial and aware of our biases. So as much as we don't like the Lakers,
screw them.
Well, I'll speak for myself then. As much as I don't like the Lakers, it's impressive that they got as far as they got. They started with a historically bad start to the season.
That is very true.
And
that was a completely different team, though.
It was a completely different team.
Literally.
Right. And that kind of thing is never going to be able to happen again. Thank you, new CBA rules. But like, it's a good squad. Rui Hachimura was a low-key brilliant pickup for the Lakers.
I have been saying that since he got drafted
out
of Gonzaga. Wizards did not want to use him. I swear.
Or they didn't know how, because the Wizards have no idea what they're doing. We know this.
Because he is one of the most, when it comes to just overall jump shot area, like his mid-range is killer. He reminds me of Tobias Harris.
And he plays defense. What more do you want out of guys? So like, I think the Lakers are in okay shape. All LeBron's talk about maybe I'll retire this season. Bullshit, LeBron. I'm calling bullshit on that. You're not retiring. If you do, you're going to pull a Tom Brady and retire next season and come back the following season.
You could call it Jordan.
Right.
Yeah, Jordan also.
Except instead of wearing 4-5 like he did, he's going to come back wearing 46.
Oh.
I said it. Or 12 if we're going by his numbers in Miami.
So yeah, unfortunately, as nice as it would be to have the Lakers retreat back into NBA irrelevancy, I don't think it's going to happen immediately. I think they're going to be good next year.
Yeah.
But they want to be able to keep Reeves and Hachimura. But Reeves is looking for the bag, and I'm sure Rui would be.
I mean, someone's going to offer Rui a bag.
Yeah.
Better.
Someone's going to offer him.
It's going to be Mavericks.
I would take him.
I expect Mavericks to look at literally every single big man this summer and being like, what can we do?
We need you, right? Like, do you want
Christian Wood just completely imploded on us, which bummed me out because I love Christian Wood.
Same.
He was supposed to be so good. Because I keep on, Kyrie's going to the Lakers. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
D'Angelo Russell wants $100 million, which that's not happening. If he wants $100 million from anybody right now, nope.
There are teams that will give him $100 million. It's not a good call.
Contending team. He wants a contending
that's not happening.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I can't think of any contending playoff team that would want him.
Yeah.
As much as I've loved him.
And so many of because the league was so even this year, so many of the teams can run it back as is. And the outcomes could be completely different next season.
Yep. But all right. Well, I don't want to talk much more of the Lakers because just like what Mike Malone said, they're not the topic anymore. So actually, on my script right now, even too, I'm taking out the Lakers because I don't want to have that in my save. So now we're gonna switch over to some Twitter time with Shay.
I promise I'm doing it. I forgot to present it before. Sorry. All right. So we got Twitter. There has been some interesting takes going on. Like I even just tweeted that I can't believe that the Celtics blew They went from 0-3, push a game 7, and someone responded, my friend Jack, and they said they were still recovering from the end of Succession. So, maybe.
No spoilers. I'm only in like season 2.
I know. I will not spoil for you. Where did all my...
Can I say that I barely have heard about that show before?
That
Really?
I
Have you
love
been living
that because it's like such
in a hole?
big thing on my
do you know
timeline.
how many episodes of Bob's Burgers there are? Because I have
no idea.
I have to watch all of them on repeat for probably 8 times. There's 13 seasons and 22, 23 episodes per season.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I can quote that entire movie. But yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to find my bookmarks. Did they move it? It used to be over on the side.
If the Celtics should have won, you should have put a tweet of, I can't believe it's not butter, and I cannot believe that the Celtics put it up.
Okay,
I should be paid.
I'm gonna show you guys. Look, I don't know. Like, see, there's nothing here. Like, usually it's bookmarks. Am I looking past it?
Where? No, yeah, that's weird. Why you gotta change stuff, Twitter?
Like, literally, they
Come on, Elon.
Why you gotta change stuff?
I was just looking at them. I was just looking at my bookmarks. Okay, well, I do have tweets.
I see your one.
My one.
From 5 minutes ago.
Well, but I don't know where my bookmark tweets are. Well, we can look at things I've liked. Maybe I could find things in there. I always think these... Okay, well, first off, this is the cheesiest shit. Sorry for cussing.
Oh. I thought I found it, but it's not.
Might want to get that checked out.
But, like, why... Who do they make these silly graphics? Like, they're so cheesy. And this is ESPN. Like, this is... Like, they could have cool graphics, but instead, they took and made Jimmy Butler into a barista, which I get it, because he sells coffee. And then...
also, how quickly could you come up with a media shot? How long after was it from the game?
Yeah.
10:43.
So they just put this, they had to been like, okay, we need to figure out something. That is my defense with it. It does look corny as whatever, but
no, listen, when you are ESPN, there's no defense for this.
No. You can literally do whatever.
Our graphics look better than this, and we are not ESPN.
We are literally not ESPN.
All I'm saying.
We're
that's
hardcore,
all I'm
honey.
saying.
Okay, I'm still mad about... I had tweets. I just, I'm very confused. Okay, well, I'm going to send these to myself if I can do that. Or to the hardcore account. And then just don't look at this. Hold on, sorry. That way we have them, because I got some really good ones.
They must have just changed it, because Twitter, Google still says it's in the... Oh, I see it on Hardcore Hoodies one, and it's right above where it says Twitter Blue, so that just must be your thing.
Yeah, that's so weird, right?
Because I'm logged into Hardcore Hoodies right now.
I found it. Okay, Yay. I found it. Okay, sorry. Technical difficulty. Okay, so from Iman Auden, Kevin Love has reached the finals every time he's been in the playoffs, and they said that's a crazy stat. And I actually also agree that is kind of a crazy stat.
It is kind of crazy.
Every time.
That's great.
Good for Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I've been able to see him throughout his entire career. Like going back to high school, even when he destroyed our rival town's team.
Oh, really?
There was every year, or for at least a while, there was this thing called the Minnesota Classic, where it would take the best teams in the country playing against the best teams in the state.
Okay.
So our rival team is one of the best teams in the state. And so Kevin Love is 4 years older than me. He graduated high school in 2007 because I know it's because he's the same age as my sister. But so his graduation year, playing our rival school, he dropped 42 points, he had 26 rebounds, and then like a couple blocks. And he was some pudgy dude. And then I figured out that his dad was one, or his uncle was one of the Beach Boys. And then he went to UCLA. And when I was in like junior high school, I did have a huge college basketball phase. And like a bunch of my favorite players today came out of UCLA. And Kevin Love came out of UCLA. We get him drafted. And then even when he went out on such a sour note, I'm like, I get it. Whatever. This is the first time I've dealt with a situation like
Right.
I get it. You want to make the playoffs. You've been with this team for 5 years now. And the closest we've gotten to the playoffs is we went 40-42.
Yeah, I can't really blame a guy.
No. And then he gets his title right away. Just like
back to Jimmy for a moment. I just got a notification from Bleacher Report. Jimmy plans to start a beverage and clothing line, and he has filed for the trademark on Himmy buckets.
I saw that.
I love it.
Good for
It's
him.
perfect. It's
Good for him.
perfect.
All right, I have another tweet that does not make any sense, so I'm ready to share it with you guys. So, from Kofi, time to start Doc Rivers to the Celtics rumors with no sources. Now, when I play you this video, you're going to be a little confused. Same.
And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. I'll hold on to the wings of the eagles. Watch as we all fly away. And they say
low key though. Don't mind that song. Oh,
Really?
that song.
So Nickelback's Canadian,
Right.
and
Jack Roger,
around,
he's Canadian.
and around here, people who liked Nickelback are pretty much universally assumed to be douchey.
Just that they have 2 albums growing up as a kid, Silver Side Up or whatever.
Yep.
Those 2 albums were good. And then they did the song like I want to be a rock star. And then I'm like, I'm off the boat. I'm off the boat. Like they started off as like a serious like hard rock band. Yes, it was kind of like country people,
Right.
hard rock kind of stuff. Like I get it. But I was going through a weird phase with music. I was listening to that, but then also like Tribe Called Quest. Like I was trying to figure out who I was as a person.
Okay, but let's go back to this tweet for a second because I don't understand why someone paired this particular clip.
That's what.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad that I wasn't the only one. Like
did you pick the wrong clip or Kofi? Help us out here.
did you pick the wrong Spider-Man?
I
Maybe seen
saw
Miles
this-
Morales. Let's see
Or-
some animated.
Like if the idea is that Doc Rivers is going to be the Celtics hero, that doesn't work either.
Right.
So I'm definitely confused. You called it.
Very confused.
What if
but
he
I wanted
goes to the
share with
Raptors?
you.
Bite your tongue.
Ooh.
You guys are gonna have such a great regular season.
The Raptors, the thing that I can thankfully say about the Raptors is whoever they do hire, it will not be Doc Rivers. I am not worried about that even this much.
All right, I have another Celtics tweet. So this is the original tweet from Hoop Central. Jaylen Brown gives his mask to Blake Griffin after the headbutt. Oh, cool. But the quote tweet from @Hands Too Full. Why is Blake Griffin in the Celtics? Every time I see him on a new team, it's like a jump scare. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him sitting on the bench last night. I'm like, oh right, Blake Griffin's on the Celtics.
Wasn't he just a Brooklyn Nets
Wasn't he
last
just
year?
a-
right? And then here too, why has he got a Paul Blart mustache going on?
I don't even care. I think Blake Griffin is hot AF.
I keep on hearing that. I don't see it. I get. Does the charm help a lot too?
I mean, the smile's amazing,
'Cause,
right? Like, look at that
Okay.
smile.
I know, like, I think the dude's great. The guy has such good comedic timing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've ever seen any, like, he's done like comedy roasts and stuff like that. Has some good chops. Like, not even for an athlete. Like,
He's
it's hard to
funny.
get the timing that he has with it. But no,
Yeah.
it's
Blake
weird
Griffin
seeing
can get it.
lots of players seem to end up like on, like, because I think Shaq was on the Celtics right before he retired.
Right.
He was huge. He's probably bigger than he is now.
All right, that's all my tweets. Oh wait, JK, I had one more. I don't think I
Lay it
showed.
on us.
Wait, did I show this before? I don't think so. Well,
And they see that.
No, you
Oh,
didn't.
it's from @M Singer, Mike Singer, Jamal Murray's dad, and Nikola Jokic's brothers. And I did just
Oh.
so happy.
That's
will
awesome.
say,
I
I wasn't
forgot-
expecting Jamal Murray's dad to be so short because since he was the one who taught Jamal like so much about basketball, I expected a very tall man. Not
I
tall.
forgot to say when we were talking about Mike Malone, after he tore his Jamal Murray tore his ACL, he was essentially went up to Mike Malone because there was rumors of Tim Connolly was saying how we can trade Jamal Murray and we can get this player that over here, star player over here. And Mike Malone was like, no,
That's so
I'm going
nice.
to keep you here. And like from there on out, like that was, and I'm like, oh, well, no wonder Jamal Murray wants to, other players want to stick with the franchise.
For sure.
You have a terrible event happening to you, injury, personal stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Your coach that's just like, I don't care about any of like all that outside. I care about you as a
The
person.
Nuggets have gotten to the point where they need to be in that conversation that we have a lot about the teams with really great cultures in the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, that's my tweets. Sorry I couldn't find my bookmarks for a little bit.
Hey, we make do with what we do.
It's our specialty.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of ending of sagas, kind of the end of an era with the stuff. We got Carmelo Anthony just released his retirement, which I did you guys check out the video?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, we'll have to send it to you in the chat, Jade. It's a good video. You can definitely tell that he's a guy that's like, I'm done. I can safely say that I don't want to do anymore. I have everything set.
He's not going to regret it.
No.
No.
So I got first question is this one of the greatest draft classes of all time?
What year was
Right.
that? 2000.
So you'll have like Chris Bosh, you have
Yeah.
LeBron James, you got Dwayne Wade, you
Nice.
have Carmelo Anthony. Let me check out the other ones. Then you have Kyle Korver. You have David West. And those are just some of the all-stars coming out from it. And then you got the 96 draft class we'll go with the 84 draft class that has Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, John Stockton, or 96 that had Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant. I'm blanking out some extra names, but would you put this as one of the greatest draft classes ever?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah.
Like with those names and the careers that they've had, you kind of have to.
And then, so where does Carmelo rank in your own personal spot, Shay? In like NBA history?
He's fine. Like he's like a mid-tier ranking.
Yep.
Like top 30, top 20?
Probably
All time.
of all time.
Yeah, I want to break down what his career has been.
So I missed all of Melo's career, and the things I remember the most about Melo is how selfish he was as a player. So
The last
like
time the
I have
Nuggets went to the conference finals was with Melo. So this is his career wise. 30,203 points, 8,365 rebounds, 10 All-Stars, 6 All-NBA championships, scoring champ, NBA 75th anniversary team, NCAA championship, Olympic, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, and holds the record for most points in Olympic basketball history for USA. So that's what he's going with. He's top 10 with scoring all time. With his stint in Denver, one of his last years, he ended going into the Western Conference Finals that had like Chauncey Billups, Marcus Camby, Kenyon Martin, like J.R. Smith. They did have their up and downs and stuff, and he did leave out on a sour note to New York. But when he was in Denver, he was a force to be reckoned with, and I still say he got robbed of Rookie of the Year because him and LeBron put up the same stats. If you look at like pretty much across the board, Melo made it to the playoffs. The Cavs were still one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
Denver was third in the draft, so they weren't a good team before. I'm just saying for Rookie of the Year wise.
Rookie of the Year is a regular season award.
And he did the exact same thing. He led his team. You didn't see LeBron.
I just don't care about Melo. Like, I don't care about him at all. I care about him even less than I care about LeBron because at least I dislike LeBron. I just don't care about Carmelo Anthony.
Okay. I'll just leave it at that then.
Shay should talk.
Ignore my question completely. Ignore my question completely. My computer's about to die now anyways. I'm at 5%.
So what's the plan then?
I think we should do the fast break fast.
Yeah, just gonna skip to the fast break. My computer's about to die.
Okay.
See, we've already talked about all of my questions. So the one that we haven't talked about. How many series, fast break, when I come up with 3 questions, Jade and Shay have no knowledge about, and I'm going to see if they can answer it. Yeah, so I don't have 2 of my 3 questions because we already answered them. So my question, how many series has Doc Rivers blown after leading? 1 or A, 5, B, 7, C, 8, or D, 10?
7.
I think it's 7 too.
It's 8.
Oh!
Is it 8? Oh, it's 8 including this one. Because I heard them talk about that stat during the series.
I forgot. Yeah.
Doc Rivers.
And then how many I got one. How many Eastern Conference Finals has Jason Tatum been to already? Jade, you have. I'll do.
How many seasons has he been playing?
So he got drafted at 19, and now he's 25.
I'm gonna say he's been in 4.
I was gonna say 3.
He's been in 4.
Oh.
Yeah. And
he just turned 25. All of those big name players that we've been talking about, like throughout the entire episode, LeBron, Steph Curry, all those players, they didn't get to that when they were this young.
Yeah.
And he's getting to it every single.
That's the thing. Tatum is, I forget how young he still is. Like, he is not peaked yet. I don't think as an NBA player.
He's still okay. I got one more, and it's a matchup. It's a matchup. Oh, come on. Dang. Okay, so the 2003 All-First NBA versus this year's All-NBA. So Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, and Shaquille O'Neal versus SGA, Luka, Tatum, Embiid, and Giannis?
Oh my gosh, this is really difficult.
All my brain keeps saying is, why is it Embiid instead of Jokic? First of all,
Okay, we can flip. This was just for all. This was all NBA first
on
team.
the first team. Yeah, I figured.
Yeah,
I think I'm taking this year's first team, honestly.
I was gonna say the Kevin Garnett team.
And because I'm taking this year's team because the shooting.
True.
There isn't the same 3-point shooting on the 2003 team that there is on this team.
I think Kobe and Tracy could easily make up for it. The only reason why they haven't is because that era
You didn't.
didn't need to do it as much.
Right.
Yeah.
None of them can hit a mid-range shot, while everybody on the first team or the 2003 team minus Shaq can hit
That's
the
true.
mid-range shot
That's very
like
yeah.
no other.
But threes are worth more than mid-range.
Yeah,
so-
but you got to make them. It's easier to, and also Shaq.
Right.
Shaq, I'm sorry. Tim Duncan, 15 or 14-time defensive player or all defensive NBA team. Garnett, a defensive player of the year. Like, defense is going to win the 2003 squad. But okay.
Yeah, I'm going to the 2003.
I'm going 2003. Okay. I have
It was hard though. Like that was hard.
4%. Okay. So, it has been a blast today. It is really raining out. Holy guacamole.
Is it?
Yeah, it's raining out real bad.
It is 90 degrees and sunny here today.
Nope, it is. Well, it's like 80 out, but just crazy storms. Okay, but great episode today. It was fun as always. We will see you guys in the finals.
Final.
Adios.
Au revoir.